everyone, and welcome to the debut of Gig Life Pro's panel series, Dream Team. In this series, we look at a major moment in music and invite the team responsible to talk us through how they made the magic happen. Gig Life Pro recently hosted our first member mixer in Mumbai last March around Lollapalooza, Mumbai, and what a thriving market. We also had the opportunity, of course, to catch up with a couple of our India members like Sid and Roochay. And one thing that really struck me was how much the Indian music market has evolved in just even the last 2 years since I was there for the very first Lola. And one of the biggest shifts has been in music's relationship to film and video. COVID allowed for a dramatic shift from Bollywood-owned and driven music to now artist-owned and driven music. As a result, India has developed a robust and rapidly growing sync business and a full infrastructure around that to support it. Today, we look at the phenomenal success of Anurag Saikya's Ishq Hai that conquered and continues to dominate India's streaming charts after debuting as part of Netflix Mismatched series last year. As we all know, artists are the anchor around which any dream team is built. And today we are honored to have Anurag himself joining us, along with his lyricist, Shekar, as well as his manager, Sid, and his distributor and marketeer, Roochay. Anurag, can you please tell us a little bit more about your team? Like, who are some of the key players and what do they do, as well as like how involved are you as an artist on some of these day-to-day kind of business opportunities?
I have actually two, three kind of teams. One is my core music team, where there are like some amazing music producers like Ishan Das, and Gaurango Shekhar, Aravind Nayak, some mixing engineers like Pankaj Bora, Hanis Taneja, and so they are like my core music team with
Got it.
whom I sit together. There are a bunch of team, my friends who are like amazing singer
Mm,
and who is also like the part of the team of especially of Ishq Hai, like Romi, Varun, Madhuvanti, Amarava Banerjee. So that is like my singles team.
gotcha.
And the other team is like the management team where I have Siddharth, Gagan, and everyone working with Siddharth. And yeah, and the team is growing day by day, and some of the
Fantastic.
people I meet them every day. Some of the people probably I don't know even, but I'm glad that they are with me and with my music, and they're helping me reach to millions of people. And it's growing. And finally, I met someone like Ruchi,
Yeah.
and who is like taking all our music to some different level. And of course, while in India, when we are working in films or series, because I am from Northeast India, so my Hindi is not that great. For writing the lyrics, we most of the time we get in touch with some eminent lyricists like Raj Shekhar or
Ah,
Juno or anyone. So that's how it's building, and the journey is still on.
how fascinating. I really didn't, I think a lot of people, I mean, I'm Indian and I didn't consider like even the nuances of like Hindi, like music Hindi versus like the various different, offshoot languages of even that, to all the way to the languages that aren't really connected to Hindi at all, like
Yeah.
as we continue further down south. Like, how interesting. But that's really also interesting that you have like two separate types of teams in terms of like the creative side.
Many separate teams actually.
Yeah, many,
For
and
yeah,
yeah, for every project, you
yeah.
probably have to build a brand new team as
That's
well,
that
right?
that's true. Even because I do lots of background scores as well. So for
Ah,
the background score, I have a separate team,
wow.
and
Oh my God.
it's again growing.
Very simple terms, we call it believe is by the people and for the local people.
Hmm.
And that really resonates, right? So it everything about every music that you put out, it's for the local people. But And even though it's a French company, it's an MNC company, but what we have seen is that every territory that Believe operates at a very big pride level of, because they want to push their own limits
Okay.
and push their own music about. Now that's the first part of it where it started investing into the market. The second part came in when they started really getting into the mergers and acquisitions into the
Yeah.
market, when they started investing into the market with some of the biggest catalog.
Wow.
Now, the beauty of that is this is literally the age of regional superstars right now. So
Yeah.
I call it the regional superstars, right?
Anurag, like you mentioned Raj Shekar, it sounds like a very collaborative process between both of you, and also like especially on the creative side. But how involved were you on like the marketing side and the promotion side and the rest of it, like the more of the business side after the song came out? What is your involvement, Rajshekar?
I was in Delhi that time. I used to call Anurag. So today, it was first few days. So 35,000 streaming on Spotify. So he said, okay. And how was yesterday? Yesterday was 7. Okay. Next day, today, bhaiya, today, oh, I said 1,21,000. Every day it was doubling. Uh, a very ironical thing happened in this process. So last year, one of my song was number one song of India.
Mm,
It's called "Pehle Bhi Main" in Animal.
wow, congrats. So you're used to number one.
Thank you. So I was waiting that day. uh, it was with me. The game was with me only. So whether Ishq Hai will cross Pehle Bhi Main or not. So when I think it was on um 10th or 11th, I can't remember now, 10th or 11th position, and then Ishka crossed it. So
Wow.
a part of me was bit sad and part of me was very happy. That's my whole contribution in
That's a
telling
very
Anurag
large contribution, right?
today.
Anurag would say that's a huge contribution. You opened his eyes to this incredible thing.
That's true.
So,
Actually, not only this group. So we have one internal group with me, Siddharth and Gagan, and they also keep sharing. And after a point of time, it's not about the numbers. It was number one in India,
Yeah.
number one in Pakistan, number one in UAE. So
yeah,
that's where I really felt very special because numbers are going to change every day, right?
yeah.
But the love from people from other countries as well. So I think we made on top 10 in Canada as well. Then it
Wow.
went for global number one. And it's not only about the numbers.
Yeah.
We started getting lots of calls from other people. And I still remember, so they are like very big players in the market, like one of the biggest label. They called me up and said, Anurag, your studio is in Andheri and we stay in Andheri. Why you are giving all the good songs to Netflix?
Because I
And
didn't know you were here.
so I told them I was always here, and
Yeah.
the
Why
songs
is this
picked
the
up.
first
I'm
time
not
you're
been picked
calling
up.
me?
I'm still here.
Yeah.
No, but now I think though, as Raj Bhai has said, I started realizing the power of numbers, which is
Mm,
really important, and uh, whatever the honesty, whatever the patience, but numbers really speaks. And I hope everyone get this kind of a moment in your life because it is very important for any artist. Uh,
yeah.
because numbers motivate people, and there are many point of time because as an artist, you have asked about the marketing things. We are very different as a person. We hardly
Yeah.
know about the whole marketing things. We have started learning after this whole the biggest marketing thing or the best the thing that we can do is make a reel on Instagram. That is all that we can do. Uh, or sometimes Roochay will call and say, "Ki, just go and please do a collaboration with this artist." That is, we all are available for everything, but sometimes because we came from a very different world, and we thought ki just making music is the end of your job. But no, you need a ring light where you can just put your face,
I know,
and
right? You need to do all of this other
yeah,
stuff. It's true.
yeah,
We
that's
kind of
true.
dive into this with artists a lot. You're expected to be not just a musical
Yeah.
creator, but also a content creator and a marketeer at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we're still learning, and after something works, it becomes the formula. Like
mm,
what Uche has told me, because we have been taught about all this algorithm things, that it's only a 2.5 minutes songs work and 3 minutes work. So for me and Rajshekhar, it's like we came from that world that we start experimenting, because the previous song SEQ was also 5 minutes,
yeah.
30 seconds songs, almost like that. Now everyone calls me and they call me the 5 minute composer.
You're
5 minute
bringing it
plus.
back though, right? Like, I mean, some of these things that go virally is like 1 minute, 30 second, 5 word song. Like, is that
uh,
even a song,
I,
right?
I I I think how much you are getting at means how much you can like involve your audience. It can
Yeah,
be sometime a 1 minute song sounds like a very longer song, right? So sometime, because I also came from the advertising thing, we created for 5 second, 10 seconds, right?
yeah.
So like 10 seconds, you have to create something that someone from the kitchen has to come and runs, and they have to say, "Oh, this is this Atta ad, or this is like this shop ad," right? So we have gone through everything. So I think it's not about the duration or something like that. How much the your creation can catch a audience or a listeners. Yeah, and this is changing. Everything is changing. Like, and we are just happy to be a part of it, from the cassette era to CDs era to DD1 to Netflix
Honestly.
now. Now I am just waiting for many things to come, because art is there to stay.
Yeah.
And yeah, and with great people like everyone. I'm not saying
Yeah.
because of Ruche is here, but
I mean,
if you have a
honestly,
team who can support the marketing thing, because trust me, we can't be great at everything, right?
no.
So we, as a musician, I am not sure ki if I'm great in music as well. So, and still after, like, no, I do not try
And
to be
yeah, we
modest
all
or
have
something
that,
like that.
right? Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
get it.
So,
Totally.
so that's the thing.
Yeah. Sid, what is the like one or two things that you think Anurag or Believe or whatever or Netflix did with the song that created these kind of viral, like this amazing growth? Like, was it a specific piece of content on social, or was it like like a way, like a certain platform that got really behind it?
So Anurag and Rajshekhar Bhaiya worked with, like they said, worked with Mismatched in season one. The song was a massive hit. It had Raghav singing the song. Season two, Rekha ji sang the song, composed by Anurag, written by Rajshekhar, and it was a no-brainer that this song is also going to do very well.
Yeah,
At least in my head, I
yeah,
was very confident that their combination is going to like make sure. I was sure that it's going to be a hit.
yeah.
And when I heard the song in the studio, I think 3 months prior to it being released, I was blown away. I was like, "What the?" And Anurag showed it to me with the visuals, and it went. I was like, "What a song! Like this is."
Yeah.
And I called Rajshekhar Bhaiya and I told him, "Bhaiya, आपने तो आदत लगा लिया है यार." So like he's made an habit out of it. So
Yeah.
and
It's
and the
dream
song
team.
really, yeah, actually dream team. And when the song came out, I remember me and Roochay, before it came out, we were in Australia for South by Southwest. And I told Roochay, it's top five. I can guarantee you. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I think so too. And
I remember you guys having this very odd conversation about a track, like charting and a track that hadn't come out
Which was
yet.
also right at your
yeah,
mixer, Priya.
Yeah, it was at your mixer, correct? At I forgot the name of the place, but yeah, it was an amazing mixer by the way. Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you were saying, yeah, you guys
yeah.
were talking about it. You
So
knew that it was going to do well.
yeah, yeah, it was supposed to do it, and the obviously the show has gotten so big. Each and every character in the show, all the actors, they have such a huge fan base. Like the show characters in the show have a separate fan base. The actors
Yeah.
have a separate fan base, but the characters in the show have a separate fan base. And when Believe put together and Netflix together put together in fan event at Raspberry Rhinoceros in Juhu, uh,
Oh,
those moments on stage where Anurag, Rajshekar Bhaiya and the singers were on stage and the actors were on stage, you had goosebumps, because you could
yeah.
feel the energy. You could feel that this is a moment which is going to be a very special song. You could feel that in the air.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
And
what
that obviously, like, that's just a moment, right? A moment that gets everybody sharing. And then there
I
was
think.
also like Instagram, right? Like Anurag mentioned, like the reels and
Yeah,
everybody using the song and moments like
yeah.
that as well, right?
That's all organic. I feel like because of the fan event which Roochay and Believe and Netflix did, a lot of content went viral on Instagram on its own because of the fans,
Amazing.
and yeah, and when it's a good song, I think nothing can stop it. So yeah,
No, absolutely. But fueled by all of these other extra things,
yes, absolute,
right?
absolute,
Like not
absolute.
just the song on its
No,
own,
no,
and.
no, absolutely,
It's
absolutely. You
amazing to
need
hear
to
about
do a
all of this.
marketing, push. Yeah,
And it felt like, but it still feels like it was so organic and fun and natural, and everybody wanted to be there and do these
yeah,
things, and because
yeah.
that's
The
the other
show
fear.
is the show as well. It's gotten
Yeah.
very big.
Ruche, besides Spotify for artists and Apple for artists and YouTube for artists, obviously you guys have access to a ton of data, right? Like more than like, and also together, right? Like that's the beauty of like the data you guys have access to. You can see how one platform perhaps could be, whether it's like Reels really driving traffic to Spotify consumption or to YouTube, right? So like when was the moment and what were you looking at where you kind of had like that, oh wow, this thing is like gonna go. And then what was your recommendation to Sid and Anurag and Raj Shekar for like, now we need to do this. We need to spend on digital advertising or post this or
The way we thought about is right. If you typically look at Bollywood soundtracks, the Bollywood soundtracks usually have this is how the normal mantra. There's going to be a first dance or
yeah.
an item song which is dropped typically, which is a very it's the mood of the song. The
Uh-huh.
second song will always be a love ballad or a romantic song, and the third track will always be like a thematic song around a party or a theme or a friendship, and then they'll drop a full album before the release or just on the week of the release of the album.
Hmm.
That has been typically for decades and decades.
And music video style, right? Like not
And
even
of course, the
like
music videos,
both. Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
music videos like are the most essential
yeah.
part. We understood two things here. One, we are reactivating a channel which is a catalog channel. So all of the music videos for Mismatched soundtracks are going up on Ishtar, the channel that I spoke to you about. It's a
Yeah,
catalog.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now it houses all the hits there from the 90s, right? And
Mm.
it has 48 million subscribers there. But they are typically there for Shah Rukh Khan songs and not necessarily for Netflix songs. Right?
Oh.
So that was a bit of a challenge there that we had to get the audiences there. But in order for them to get there, it's very important to warm up the channel. The warm up the channel happens when you start putting in shorts, community post, start doing the messaging around it in terms of what the YouTube community building exercises are, in terms of
Yeah.
driving the audiences with ads, conversion happens. So we said, let's do a little Bollywood model. Why not? If Bollywood can do that, our soundtrack has all the elements to be as big of a film song.
I
And we
love this full
said,
circle. Yeah.
Ishq Hai is our number one bet. Let's drop the first song way ahead of the time when the show launches. So if you look at the
Oh.
here show launches here, I've not put the date here. That was December 13th. The album launch, the soundtrack with Ishq Hai happened on December 2nd. So you literally had 12 days, 11, 12 days. And then in between, we did a couple of more lyrical songs and videos from the album, like Khamia, Gumshuda. But then this is what Sid also touched upon, the Believe Music event, 10th of December.
Wow.
This is where we got the whole fandom together.
Before we head off, everyone, I just have one final question for you all, a little series of questions. Where and when did you find out that Ishq Hai hit #1? Who told you, and who did you tell first? Anurag, starting with you.
I think about the whole #1 thing.
But
It
you
was
already saw it
circulating in
when you
all
were
our group.
on it.
No, I think all this after a point of time I started getting screenshot from Siddharth
Yeah.
about I think that was sent by Roochay, if I'm not wrong, to Siddharth in a and someone from the Belief team. And after a point of time, it was like a competitions. So I have two groups of with Siddharth and with Raj Bhaiya and the creator. So who can share the screenshot first?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, I have also started learning कि कैसे जाके दिखते हैं, means how you go and
Yeah.
just know about the numbers. Yeah, that's how. And I didn't have to go and tell someone because till the time everyone started knowing about it.
Yeah.
And
Real time.
every time there is some moment of numbers, I always get a tag from Believe for a collaborative post immediately, and
Wow.
it was so fast, and it was and that's how also like Ruchesh mentioned the importance that you give to any creator for a song, and the song like Ishq Hai, after a point, because maybe it was created by Rajshekar and Anurag. After a point, it became like a song of everyone because
Yeah.
everyone felt that this is our song.
Yeah.
Not only Ruche, from everyone from Believe and Netflix, they started sharing all the things. And like Siddharth has mentioned, all the actors from Mismatched team. So it's big shout out to them as well because someone like Prajakta, Rohit, Taruk, all those people has like gone out to just go and promote all the songs and even all the composers. Yeah,
That's
that's how
amazing.
it happens, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
Now
Yes. Yes. That's the
it's
most
still going on.
amazing thing.
Sometimes
Congratulations.
it's one, sometimes it's two, and I've just stopped watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just moving into somewhere else.
All right. Rajshekar, did you want to add anything to that? Where were you? You guys were like competing on your chat groups.
I think Anurag sent me that screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Delhi, and he sent me that. Yeah.
And then you had to tell everybody that the other song has gone down to number.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. Amazing. Sid, how was that moment like for you? And then Richard, I'd love to hear yours after that.
It was great actually. Me and Ruche, we used to speak every day in the morning
I'm
and
sure.
at night. I think we
First
spoke
person,
multiple,
last person, I'm sure. I was in that role before.
multiple times. He used to call me, I used to call him. I used to wake up to his calls actually.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I felt like I had a girlfriend
I know,
in the
right?
music industry. So yeah,
Wow.
and I used to sleep to like his calls as well. But no, jokes apart, I think Luce and the entire Believe team were at their top game. You know, they brought their
Yeah.
top A game to it. They marketed the song really well. I think they were fantastic. He kept me informed. I kept Anurag informed. And Raj Shekhar Bhaiya has made a habit out of it, so he didn't really need to be
Yeah.
informed.
He's like, I already
So,
knew. I
yeah,
know.
yeah, he's already used to it. So, yeah,
Oh,
but
I
it
love
felt nice.
that.
And I also shared it with my team. Gagan from my team who handles Anurag's work on day-to-day basis. I think big shout out to him from our team. Like he's been at it more than me. So I think he deserves like a lot of credit for it as
I
well.
feel
Yeah.
like you have a whole group of people, right? Like, because
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah.
all of the third parties that came around to promoting it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Ruche,
Yeah.
round it out
uh,
for us.
yeah.
You told
say-
them first. I know.
So this is an interesting story. I still remember exactly. This was December 31st. It's the New Year's evening.
Yeah.
I exactly remember. And everybody was slowing down in the company. My team here is like an amazing bunch of people like Rais, Megha, Taran, Soham, Shimantani, Vishnu. All of these are like some really hardcore into the project people, right, who handle A&R and digital marketing. And the funny thing of Spotify is that it takes almost 24 hours or 48 hours as like to Rose show the real time charting position.
Mm.
And so by the time it hit the evening where everybody was just like now getting ready for the drinks, um, we actually received a lot of updated stats, screenshots from industry folks, including Amit, who's also on the attendee here, because he's literally on top of the charts every day. And as soon as I have it, my first thing was Sid. I'm like, because we were literally competing. We
course,
sent
yeah.
each other screenshots. Who's sending the first? Because this was like a wild moment of us going number one. Also to note here, the first person there, the first track was Anuv Jain, who was sitting there for almost 2 months, which was unbeatable. And for
Yeah.
us, the thing was, let's beat Anuv Jain first, right? That was like the only thing. Um, and it happened that evening. And literally after that, everybody celebrated. And yeah, we woke up with the new year of 2025,
Yeah.
and also the track being number one. And it's been like a crazy ride. So,
Aw.
what a feeling to wind up the year
Yes,
and call the year.
amazing. What a great way to end this conversation as well. Thank you guys so much for sharing that story with us. It's incredible to hear how all of these different backgrounds and experiences found their way together here for Ishq Hai, and really looking forward to getting more updates from all of you on the next activations and getting you. I mean, I have like all these different ideas for each of you on what I want to program you for next. So fascinating. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and see you all soon.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Priya, for like
It's
doing this.
amazing.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.